What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video of a Social Sig song breakdown. Woo! The first one I did was my song Milwaukee, and you can check that out on my channel. And this next song is another one that's very special to me, and it is called From Afar, and just released this one. I released this one as a single or double single back last maybe May with Hot Red, and it also dropped with the album Cheesehead August of 2022. It's a little bit newer song, and one that I really hold close to my heart as well. I love playing this one live. It's so much fun, so groovy. And shout out to Jacob Slade, who does the kind of wah guitar in the whole song, and then Austin Wood, who does the bass guitar on this song as well. And then of course shout out Kai. I ended up using looping drums in the song, but Kai has jammed the song many a times with us and adds his own flavor to it for the live shows. Looking back, sometimes I do wish that we had his live drums recorded in the song, but regardless, it's a very sweet song and it's very groovy. And so shout out those guys, the boys of Social Sig. I feel like I wrote this song fall of 2021. Maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't. I thought this might be cool to add, but it's basically a voice memo from back in like January when I was just figuring out the melodies, because that's how a lot of my songs start. They usually start with a chord progression and then just humming some random words over the top and then just structuring the song and then filling in the lyrics. So this voice memo is titled Awake. I've gotta stay awake. And of course those lyrics change, but this is like the early stages of the song. You've gotta stay awake. Oh, I do love those lyrics too, but so that's, I guess, where that melody came from, is just jamming that chord progression in many takes. One more special part of this song to me is that the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel listed From Afar as a top 10 song of 2022. So that was really cool. Yeah, so thank you so much, Milwaukee Journal. This is it feels fucking crazy to like get that recognition as like an independent small like a small player in this whole thing going on. And thank you so much, and I'm gonna get into the song. When everything kicks in, it's so nice. I've got a filthy habit, don't take it too seriously. Okay, so I guess I'll break down that line. I've got a filthy habit, don't take it too seriously. And I remember jamming this one a few times and trying to find the first lyric of the song. And I do think that the first lyrics of the song are the most important, because it sets the whole vibe of the rest of the song, and it needs to be something that grabs your attention. That was a lyric that kind of came, and I should have mentioned before, like when writing this song, I really didn't know exactly what it was about, to be honest. And so many different waves of like pulling stuff from different places. I was writing after a really transitional period of my life. I had just graduated college, moving out of my house that I was in for 3 years with a great group of dudes, moving out and moving on, working full-time downtown in property management, starting that full-time, and then also just moving into my own place as well, which is where I'm currently at right now, and I fucking love it. But that transitional period of like not knowing and going, and also I was starting a new relationship at the time, and shout out my current girlfriend Sheila. The main big theme of this song is basically my relationship with my past self, and looking back at that person who was living in college, going through college, or living in that house, and to where I am now, working full-time and living alone and starting a whole new chapter of my life. Really came into like a groove with the writing where I started picturing me talking to myself. like a past version of myself. And that's where like the main hook comes from, like I will love you from afar, but will you love me from afar? Having that conflict of wondering how this will end up. Yes. So that's my rant on the time period of my life when I wrote this song. Cool. So I've got a filthy habit. Don't take it too seriously. The don't take it too seriously part, I remember writing that thinking like, is it I don't take it too seriously or telling the listener to don't take it too seriously? And I kind of like that duality with it. I think with this lyric, the main part is that like we all have our own addictions and habits, not taking things too seriously and not looking too deep into things. Yeah. I don't know if I explained that first one super well, but we'll just keep it going. I have it. It filters out the scene. I've got a filthy habit, don't take it too seriously. Not all the time I have it, it filters out the scene. Maybe I should have just grouped these all. I think I'm gonna group all these stanzas together, but from here on out. But the not all the time I have it, it filters out the scene. Whereas just like it's just a phase and it will pass, as most things have in my life, whether it's negative or maybe it's a good habit. Hopefully it doesn't filter out the scene. I remember choosing that filter word because I really like that, like the term filtering, like a coffee filter, like it's just filtering out of your scene, like your current situation. And yeah, I guess it's pretty self-explanatory for those. So you're shifting with the air. Who were you yesterday? Last winter we were friends. Now I'm still in River West. So, you're shifting with the air. Who were you yesterday? Last winter we were friends. Now I'm still in River West. This is kind of just going back in how I picture the song as if I'm talking to the past version of myself or just talking to myself. In the song Last Week out this album as well, I really chased down the ideas of just constantly changing week to week. I think that every day you wake up a little bit different than yesterday. Either that could be a good thing and a bad thing. And then last winter we were friends. Just changing relationships with not only like a significant other, but also just friends. And lots of friends are moving away now after college and doing their own things, which is really exciting and bittersweet at the same time. We were all together last winter, and now I'm still in River West. And as I mentioned, I moved over to my own place and I'm in River West, and I love having that little tidbit of River West in this song because it really holds true to me. Going along, like kind of building it up before the hook of I will love you from afar, the I'm still in River West kind of like leads into that really well, I believe. I will love you from afar. But will you love me from afar? Will you love me from afar? So this is pretty self-explanatory, I guess, and I love how you can think of it however you think of it. I do change the way I think of the song, and I think you should be allowed to do that as a songwriter or a listener. But I will love you from afar. I will love you from afar. I love that part, and it's so fun to sing. And I don't know how I think it just came out when I was just jamming, and really, as I mentioned, like I try to get these songs out from a really deep place. Having that come out was it just felt good. But then, will you love me from afar? Will you love me from afar? And I did think about adding like I don't know, but it's just more fun to it was coming kind of from me, like I will love you from afar. I will love you from afar, like that last version of myself before this big transitional period. And then will you love me from afar? Like, will this person love who I am now? I'm confident to say that I think that both versions of me do love each other from afar, if anyone is wondering. Think you'll start to think you're alone. To blink, your heart will shrink on its own. You're not alone. Okay, so don't you blink, you'll start to think you're alone. Because if you start to blink, your heart will shrink on its own. This is where the falsettos come in, because this last album, I really challenged myself and really just kind of felt it too, of wanting to go into some like falsetto stuff. And listening back to the song, I do believe that I could have done some stronger takes of those falsettos with the vocals on here. But it is what it is, and Jacob Slade did some backups there as well. The don't you think, in his very soft, angelic voice that he has, really fills it up well. So don't you blink, you'll start to think you're alone. Pretty self-explanatory, because if you start to blink, your heart will shrink on its own. I feel like I don't really think about these lyrics too often, to be honest, just these ones right here. You know, you got to keep your eyes open and your heart open to the possibility of meeting more people and being surrounded by new things. I mean, if you're able-bodied and everything, and depending on your situation, you do have the ability to change your environment and change your situation. It's a lot tougher for some people than it is for others, but yeah, just be open to everything that comes your way, I believe. I've been saying I believe a lot. I believe. And you're not alone, out of control. I don't know, just kind of screaming that out into the void of like whoever's out there listening, like you're not alone and out of control. Jacob Slade on guitar. I felt like reggae this sounds with the when I was sitting on the fence. There were conditions there. Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. When I was sitting on the fence, there were conditions there. I love saying these lyrics. I love saying a lot of these lyrics live. The sitting on the fence part, as I mentioned before, being in and out of and unsure of like a relationship I want to dive into, or a new job, and just like on the fence of this transitional phase. I guess it could mean a bunch of different things when you really look into it. Especially for me, there were conditions there, and I love saying there were conditions there. Like, I love saying that live. It hits really hard. The conditions, you know, they could mean a bunch of different things that were keeping you sitting on the fence. So I guess a lot of people can probably relate to that, sitting on the fence. And there were conditions there. Leave the memory alone. You see you're now a part of it, the person I become. Okay, so this is my favorite lyric in the whole song, but better leave the memory alone. You see you're now a part of it, the person I become. It just groups into that whole verse. It's better for me to leave this idea of sitting on the fence alone, and then just accepting that you see you're now a part of it, the person I've become. And it's like that line right there, really in my head, I picture me like saying that to myself. You see you're now a part of it, this person that I've become. And after you're on the fence and going through a big transitional phase, just accepting that you are a part of me and there's nothing I can do about it. Also though, when I was writing the song, and you know, there's different ways to think about it. If you're thinking about another person, yes, like everyone you meet is a part of the person that you have become in some way. I think that's a really cool line to have there, and it just hits really, really hard. You see you're now a part of it, the person I become, he will love you, and then it jumps to he will love you from afar, he will love you from afar. I love having this space that just lets you sit with it. Far, will you love him from afar? Cool. So he will love you from afar. He will love you from afar. This is just kind of changing of it from being unsure in the first chorus of being like, will you love me from afar? But this is saying like he will love you from afar no matter what. And that's, I think, very powerful. Will you love him from afar? Will you love him from afar? So it's still questioning it though. So I guess I just contradicted myself there. And then it just says the same lyrics before. This is a pretty easy breakdown, I guess. 'Cause oh, don't you blink, you'll start to think you're alone. Just kind of repeats that first chorus. On its own, you're not alone. Dun, 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 dun. Out of control, you're not alone. Out of control. Ooh. And there you have it. The song. Oh my god. That scared the shit out of me. And there you have it. The song breakdown of From Afar by Social Sig. I believe I covered pretty much everything I wanted to. This is definitely a shorter one than Milwaukee, a little bit more condensed, and for the sake of me editing this on my phone, it is currently about like -20 wind chill. I don't even know right now, but I hope that y'all are staying really, really toasty and warm inside. And you have a wonderful holiday season. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. I really hope that y'all are hanging in there and doing well. And we will get to warm weather soon. There you have it. This is my song breakdown of From Afar. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm excited to do the next one. I feel like I want to break into like what I'm up to because I'm so used to doing the podcast here and the vlogs there. I feel like maybe I'll go back to the couch because I did feel a little bit goofy like sitting at the podcast slot of where I do my podcasts. But I do like having this double monitor, so maybe I'll have to put more time into building a cooler space. But I want to probably migrate back to the couch eventually, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right, I gotta make some dinner, and thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. I love you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye. Love you. Bye.